Sweet children, become detached from your bodies whilst alive. Become bodiless and remember the Father. This is known, or this is known as dead silence. Question: on what basis do your children make your foundation strong? On the basis of purity. The purer you souls become, that is, the more you become real gold, the stronger you will become. Baba is now laying such a strong foundation of sovereignty that no one can shake that foundation for half the cycle. The foundation of that is purity, controlling your sense organs. So no one, consequence of controlling your sense organs, no one can snatch away your kingdom. So your kingdom gets snatched away when you lose control over your sense organs. Whether you're a king of a real big kingdom, or whether it's the kingdom of your household, the kingdom of your self-respect, all of that is taken as soon as you lose control over your sense organs. Om, salutations to Shiva. Psalm salutations to Shiva. Om Shanti. Baba says, remember me, become bodiless. That is, let there be dead silence. Just like the dead silence there is when someone dies, they say his body has become silent. As soon as the soul separates from the body, everything ends. When all of you children sit here, it is called dead silence. Become bodiless whilst alive. Consider yourselves to be souls and remember the Father. So nobody has unity issues, nobody has conflicts, nobody has problems, nobody has clashes when everybody's silent. So all the karmas are because of coming into sound incorrectly or at the wrong time. Otherwise, what problems does anybody have? When you come into sound, you don't think carefully. Your consciousness starts to expand, right? You go outwards. When you're in dead silence, you're just still being a peaceful soul. What clash can you have with anybody? If you're not in dead silence in meditation like that, then of course you're having conflict with yourself between your sanskars. So you're still peaceless. But if you actually go to dead silence, you have no problems with anybody. Become bodiless whilst alive. Consider yourselves to be souls and remember the Father. You know that this is true peace. People don't know what peace is. They don't know the meaning of dead silence. Why do they say dead silence? To remind you that a person has died and that he has become silent. You also die, that is, you become silent. Your sense organs cool down and become silent. When eminent people go to the sacred memorial of Gandhiji, they say, let there be dead silence in terms of respect. That is, sit in silence. We know that we souls are embodiments of peace. The world does not know this. We stabilize in our original form, our original religion of peace. We souls are embodiments of peace. People don't know this, and this is why they ask for peace. They don't know their nature is to be embodiments of peace. Souls say, I want peace. Souls have forgotten their original religion. In fact, the religion of souls is
Peace.
peace. So why do souls then say they are peaceless? Because they're not following their religion. Just sit down and become bodiless. Those people sit and practice breath control exercises, pranayama, by force, as though they have died. Death pose and all these different things they do. That is called artificial peace. You children know that your original religion is peace. You souls are receiving your self-sovereignty. It is souls who become everything. A soul becomes a barrister. A soul says, I want a kingdom. The soul claimed a kingdom previously from the Father and has come to claim it once again. So the better you get your senses and sanskars under control, obviously it's possible then to act perform elevated karma and thereby create a kingdom, create a fortune for yourself, right? So it's about keeping your senses cool and staying in a state of silence. That soul claimed the kingdom previously from the Father and has come to claim it once again. When people are body conscious, they experience sorrow. You now understand that you are souls and that you have to claim your self-sovereignty from the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. You souls want your kingdom. Souls ask the unlimited Father for self-sovereignty at this time. Sri Krishna and self-sovereignty. Sri Krishna had self-sovereignty and then he lost it. So they're asking for self-sovereignty and peace, obviously, at this time, right? So that is because at this time, Iron Age, there's none left. Nobody has any. This is called Raj Yoga. The Supreme Father, Supreme Soul teaches you Raj Yoga. Because human beings are body conscious, they say, I am so and so. Each one considers the body to be I, the self. In fact, it is the soul who says, I. The soul says, I am picking this thing up. A female would say, I am picking this thing up. Using in Hindi the female gender. In fact, souls are male. I, the soul, am the son of the Father. The soul says, Baba, I'm claiming myself sovereignty from you. So there's a bit of a definition for understanding conjugation, but based on gender. You know, English, French, they also have gender conjugation, right? Not in English, we just he, she, same thing. So when you consider yourself a soul, then you're just male. So there's no need to adjust language for gender. So why does that happen? Because everybody starts to think and behave like they're a body. Otherwise, it's just the language of I am soul. And I am soul doesn't require any conjugation. It doesn't require any masculine or feminine assignment of either gender. Because Baba's saying a soul is male for our purposes, right? But if a soul is just a soul in the world of soul, there's no male, no female. You don't need to say the soul is male. He says the soul is male because you receive an inheritance, but you receive an inheritance of the new world, of all the powers and things, whilst you're in a body. So now he's back to the comparison of your soul in a body. The actual soul, right? Only in the context of the physical does it receive an inheritance. Therefore, it becomes male. But otherwise, the soul's just a soul. You don't even need to say male or female. In fact, souls are male. I, the soul, am a son of the Father. The soul says, Baba, I am claiming my self-sovereignty from you. This supreme soul gives you souls your self-sovereignty, right? You can't experience being Baba's child, his son, unless you're in the awareness that you're in a body. But in the soul world, is there a male or a female? No. So therefore, souls have no gender. So anytime he speaks like that, the assignment of gender is because the context is you're in a body. The soul says, Baba, I am claiming my self-sovereignty from you. The Supreme Soul gives you souls your self-sovereignty. Look how much difference there is between bhakti and gyan. There are temples to Shiva. The most bells in the temple are rung in temples, so to Shiva. They awaken him with bells. Kind of like where we got the system of having an alarm clock, right? You awaken God with bells as if God needs you to awaken him. Baba awakens you, but you turn off your alarm clock or don't have a loud enough alarm clock. Well, think about that. You don't have a loud enough alarm clock and you miss Amrit Vela or sleep in or whatever you choose to do. What's that going to do on the path of bhakti? Your devotees are not going to set the alarm, not going to hear the alarm. We're going to push snooze or whatever the version is before they invented the alarm clock, right? And they're not going to wake up in time to remember you. When they're under stress, difficult situations, big obstacles, they'll get up anyway without the alarm clock. There are temples to Shiva. The most bells are rung in temples to Shiva. They awaken him. They awaken everyone too. Bands play very early in the morning. Here the Father awakens you children and makes you into deities. There's no question of ringing bells, etc. Thank God. Can you imagine if somebody what if you were all sleeping and outside of your room we had a gong and we hit the gong full blast? That's a bell, kind of, right? What would that feel like? Father says, if you want your self-sovereignty, first of all, become pure. You have your aim and objective in your intellects. Students say, I will pass my matriculation, and then do this, do whatever, right? So Baba used to always play the music. It would be interesting to see how loud he used to play the music. Obviously, he wanted everyone to wake up, but whoever's room was near the speaker, you know, that might be jolting, right? Of course, if you were someone who was very enthusiastic about getting up and you were always up before time, then it wouldn't be a problem for you. But if you're in Madhuban nowadays and you sleep late, 3:30, what happens? Loud, full blast almost. Jago, right? It's startling. Does anyone say, oh, let's not do that for the nice softy millennial types? They might get disturbed or upset. No, they do it anyway. Because you're not supposed to be sleeping in past 3:30. You're supposed to be up well before 3:30. Sannyasis want to have peace. And of course, if you're going to get up at 3:30, then what are you doing up at 11, 12, right? Well, I'm doing my chart. Well, you need to do your chart sooner. You got to do it during the day, right? You don't want to be staying up till 10:30 latest if you truly are a conqueror of sleep, but most of you aren't. So 10 o'clock, absolute latest. Sannyasis want to have peace. This is the story about a queen who was searching for her necklace while it was still around her own neck. Similarly, people also search outside for peace. However, souls are the embodiments of peace. So then why are they searching? Souls have forgotten their original religion and now consider themselves to be bodies. The Father reminds you once again, you are souls. That's the foundation of everything we teach is based on soul. You souls have taken 84 births. No one else can explain these things. The Father says you don't know your own birth. I tell you about them. You are Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. The Fathers explained, you cannot imbibe this knowledge without having
Hey,
purity. It is said you need a golden vessel to hold the milk of a lioness. Here too, a golden vessel is required. Souls become gold by remembering the Father. The Father too is real gold. When a soul remembers the Father, this knowledge is then able to enter his intellect. You were real gold and pure. That's why you meditate before class. Oh, people walk in, 2 minutes before class. Nothing's going to stay with you. You have to prepare your mind. You were real gold and pure, but this knowledge does not affect anyone. The Father says, I give you soul self-sovereignty. You receive this self-sovereignty when it is the end of the old world and the beginning of that new world. Father says, I give you soul self-sovereignty. You receive this self-sovereignty when it is the end of the old world and the beginning of that new world. People have limited kingdoms now. They never receive an unlimited kingdom. They cannot become masters of the world. You become this through the Father. Only God the Father knows about your 84 births. Deities cannot know about their births. If they were to know about them, they would become unhappy. They would wonder if they're going to continue to come down the ladder. You would lose the happiness of the kingdom. Here you know everything. You know that you are souls. There is no question of having doubts about this. So this is what the problem is when you sabotage your stage. You're sabotaging your stage from old sanskars, right? Having been totally Tamil Pradhan. Okay, you become Tamil Pradhan. But this is the time, so that's why you have to understand the cycle. This is the time for rising, for ascending. So if you sabotage your sanskars, all you're really doing is sustaining your Kali Yugi sanskars. Okay, so you're going to suffer for that, but right? But the consequence of doing that, when you know one way or the other, even if it's after Dharmaraj, you are going to ascend, right? So that's why you allow yourself margin to behave that way. But truthfully, the biggest sorrow would be to know
you don't.
you're going to lose it all. You now know you are soul. So you get to know everything when
You've lost everything.
when you got nothing to lose. You've lost it all already. That's the only time you can know everything. There's no question of having doubts about this. You listen to one another, and the number of you continues to grow. This tree of the deity religion is being established. When someone comes, you can understand. This one, who belongs to our Brahmin clan, has come. He's completed this devotion and has now come to claim his inheritance from the Father. So how do you recognize that? You listen to what they say during course. You listen to what they ask during course, and you listen to how they respond to the answers. If they keep saying the same thing, old thing after you keep telling them the answer and explain it to them, then you kind of know
They're not part of
they're not
clan.
part of the clan. This one who belongs to our Brahmin clan has come. He's completed his devotion and has now come to claim his inheritance from the Father. When this knowledge comes to an end, devotion begins. No one else knows this. A building, too, is first new and then becomes old. A building with a weak foundation definitely has a shorter lifespan. You could say a building in India made out of Chinese steel definitely has a shorter lifespan than something made with European or Canadian steel or US steel. Building 2 is first new, then becomes old. Bubba says nowadays they build very strong buildings so that even when there's an earthquake, they don't fall and there's no loss. Yeah, they have that design built into buildings in San Francisco. They build them very strong. They make the foundations very strong. You are now laying the foundation for your self-sovereignty. You souls received the kingdom for 21 births. I remember I told you that the guy who designed the CN Tower was my professor at UT. He was very proud of his foundation design. And he said it's designed to on these rocker footings because they know that the wind is going to make it sway. But it's only designed to sway something like 7 degrees. Anything more, it's going to crack and break. Earthquake is going to sway way more than 7 degrees. Kingdoms here are nothing. Today they have a kingdom, and tomorrow someone attacks them and everything would be over. Bubba says, when there's an earthquake, they don't fall and there's no loss. They build them very strong. They make the foundations very strong. You're now laying the foundation for your self-sovereignty. You souls received the kingdom for 21 births. Kingdoms here are nothing. Today they have a kingdom, and tomorrow someone attacks them, and everything would be over, finished. There is no foundation to anything. So same with human souls. They're so delicate, sensitive, and weak. The littlest thing knocks them over, knocks them down because of attachment and because of weak will due to indulging body consciousness so much. Human beings have no foundation either. They are here today and gone tomorrow. Bubba's now laying a strong foundation for you so that you claim your fortune of the kingdom for 21 births. There's a strong foundation being laid for your kingdom. No physical storms can shake you. It also says in the Gita, Baba is giving you such a kingdom that no one can take it away from you or make it fall. It gives you such sovereignty that there isn't the slightest mention of sorrow there. You souls should experience so much happiness just knowing this, thinking about building it. You have that faith. If a soul doesn't have faith, that soul isn't worthy of going to heaven. So if you were a civil engineer, you could get great happiness from, in Golden Age, there will be complete, stable buildings that will never fall down. There will never be an earthquake. There are so many Brahma Kumaras and Kumaris, they continue to increase. You know that the ocean of knowledge of purifier is teaching us Raja Yoga. People say that Sri Krishna taught it. How can they understand that Shiv Baba entered a human body and taught it? Bharat was pure and is now impure. They go and bow down in front of the deity idols and sing their praise. They would never sing in front of Shiva, only deities. You are full of all virtues, 16th less degrees full. The praise of Shiva is different. He is the ocean of knowledge, the purifier, the bestower of salvation for all, the innocent Lord who fills everyone's apron. So if they know he's that, then they don't have to actually say anything. Everyone has forgotten such a father. People call out to the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, to come and remove their sorrow and give them happiness. The remover of sorrow and the bestower of happiness is only the one. His directions are the most elevated. They are the directions of God, the doubly elevated one, with which you children become elevated. The government too says this world is corrupt. So you can see subtly that because they consider deities to be human, they sing songs in order for the deities to hear them make them happy. But what do you do for Shiva? He's incorporeal, he's silent. He doesn't need or want anyone to sing songs for him. In Bhakti, they still try or want to or whatever. So that's why they made deities human, so they could do this human interaction with them, because they never understood that Shiva entered into the body temporarily, into a human body, to give us a temporary human experience with him, but made it very clear to us that his essence is silence, a dot, incorporeal. They are the directions of God, the doubly elevated one, with which each of them become elevated. The government too says this world is corrupt. They don't know who can make it elevated. They think sages will come make it elevated. However, sages can't do that. It's the task of the Father alone. Previously, they used to follow the directions of the one king. In the Golden Age, you don't have advisors, etc. The emperors themselves would have the power. The title advisor, or they say vizier in Muslim country, is not mentioned there. You understand that you become the masters of the world and rule the kingdom. You have to go and rule it as you did previously. Truly, there was the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan in the Golden Age. Everyone will receive his or her own kingdom. Sri Krishna will have his own kingdom. There are also other kings. There are at least 8, but then, whether there are 8 or 108, you will come to know as you progress further. It isn't that you would now be given the knowledge that you are to be given at the end. The Father will continue to tell you this knowledge tell this knowledge to those who are still alive. He has to give it. It's fixed in the drama. He has to empty out all the knowledge into us, right? The part of the Supreme Soul is performed at this time. The part of giving knowledge is fixed for this time. The Father says you will understand a lot more as you progress further. He continues to explain to you day by day, every single day. You should also know how you rule the kingdom there and how marriage takes place there. When you go into trance, you see scenes of paradise, Vaikunt, and how there are golden age palaces there. But there is nothing but gold there. How there is nothing but gold there. You see yourselves in the land of divinity. Buildings of gold bricks are being built. You feel that you should bring some bricks back. But when you come down from trance, you see yourselves here.
Empty-handed.
No bricks. Mira went into trance and she would see herself dancing with Sri Krishna. You also go to the subtle region, but there are no flesh or bones there, and you become angels. Even the body of Brahma is visible in the subtle region. This same one becomes an angel. You see gardens, etc. The Father grants you visions. You say that Baba's giving you mango juice, subiras, to drink. He cannot give it to you to drink in the subtle region. The flowers and fruit in paradise are first class. There aren't any gardens in the subtle region. You say that you went to a garden and that there was a prince there. That is called Vaikunt. You cannot find things of Vaikunt here. All the things there are first class. The Father says, I'm making you masters of
The world.
Vaikunt. Here there is nothing but sorrow. There isn't a single human being who doesn't say, oh God, liberate me from sorrow. They remember God when they're in sorrow. A worshiper of Sri Krishna would say, take Krishna's name, and a worshiper of Hanuman would say, victory to Hanuman. Here the Father says, constantly remember me alone. Remember me in such a way that at the end, there'll be no awareness of anyone else. How focused and concentrated is that? No awareness of anyone else. You're so deep in your memory. When people used to sacrifice themselves at Kashi, they would realize the sins they had committed and feel as though they were experiencing the punishment of birth after birth. Many sins have been committed. This is called a world of sinful souls. Souls are sinners. It is souls who call out to the Father. O Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. O Shiv Baba, resident of the Supreme Land. He only has one real name. He is the Father of all souls. It doesn't seem right to say, Saligrams after the name Rudra. It seems right to say Shiva and the Saligrams. They create an oval Shivlingam and also Saligrams out of clay. Only he is the purifier. They create sacrificial fires here too. Bard is the most elevated of all, but they have forgotten their deity religion. Your religion is the original eternal deity religion. It should have continued, the deity religion should have continued all the time. But why didn't it? Hinduism is not a religion. Those of the deity religion go through the stages of Sattva, Raja, and Tama. So they all say that in India, but they don't know why Hinduism isn't a religion. So then what's the point? When they come into the Tamo stage, they can no longer call themselves deities. In fact, there is no such thing as
Hindu.
Hindu religion. Therefore, it's explained to you, you can become deities, so come and understand this. They reply, they don't have time. The father says, I make you belong to me in order to give you your inheritance of happiness and peace. And they say, we don't have time. Some families live together and interact with one another with a lot of love. They put all their earnings together, and there is no upheaval about anything. So there's love and trust. However, this place cannot be called heaven. In no home in the Golden Age is anyone ever ill or unhappy. The very name is heaven. Everyone there remains happy. You have come to the Father in order to claim your inheritance of constant happiness. You have now received this knowledge. You say, Baba, you are the purifier. So purify us. Telling Baba what to do. You children are also the Father's godly helpers. Acha. To sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning. From the mother, the father, Baptana, the spiritual father says, Namaste to you, spiritual children.
And the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father.
Very good. Essence for Dharna. In order to claim self-sovereignty, now make your foundation of purity strong. Just as the Father is the purifier, so you also have to become as pure as the Father. Number 2, stabilize yourself in your original religion of
Peace.
peace. Renounce body consciousness. Why? Because that's what takes away your peace. As much as possible and remain soul conscious. Practice remaining in
Bodiless.
silence.
dead silence. That is practice becoming
Bodiless.
bodiless. Blessing. May you become an embodiment of success by serving yourself as well as serving others. In order to become an embodiment of success as well as serving others, also serve yourself. Whenever you go to do service, always think that together with doing that service, you are also finally cremating your old sanskars. The more you cremate your sanskars, the more respect you will receive. Not easy to cremate your sanskars. All souls will salute you in their minds. However, you must not make them into those who simply salute you externally, give you superficial respect, but make them into those who salute you in
Their minds.
their minds. Slogan, keep the aim of doing service, and all of your limited bondages will break. Om Shanti. Aviat signal. For as long as your remembrance does not become volcanic, the flames of destruction will also not take their complete volcanic form. They flare up and then cool down because souls who have the volcanic form and images of support have not become that volcanic form for all time. Now have the determined thought to become the volcanic form and use the concentration of your mind and intellect in a collective way to spread the vibrations of powerful yoga everywhere. Om Shanti.